All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to another glorious Wednesday evening. One of the best shows on the internet as TJ fires up his pipe. And this is Masculine Geek number 51. But alas, we are not playing Dungeons and Dragons tonight. That was the original plan. We've rescheduled for Wednesday, February 13th. That is up on the website as far as the events calendar is concerned. You can go and check that out. So you're just getting us three today, and possibly Atham. We'll have to see.
Look it up.
Oh, Rob with the down vote for Atham. Whoa. Okay. All right. So we have. Atham says no. What's up, Red? Bit McTubis. Everyone in the chat. All seven. Well, six really, because you can't. Atham's going to go count himself anyway. But if you want Atham to join, put a 7 in the chat. If you would like. Maybe Bull Rush. Put a 7 in the chat if you want to see Atham join us. Hey, 14. Is that a double? Is that like a double enthusiastic?
It's a hell yes.
That's a double enthusiastic 7.
It's affirmative, enthusiastic.
7, 8, 7. Oh, welcome everyone. As I was saying when I first started, morning JD, Red Crusader, Bull Rush, McTubis, The Bit, and Lemons. Yes, Bull Rush and Lemons. Well, Rob and Lemons, really. I have to go back and watch that. Rob says 3. That's 3.5, right? Yeah.
Oh, well, if that's the case.
Yeah, you put 3.5 in there for like, So.
Well, then I need to do this one. There we go. Or that one.
Oh God, it's taking its time refreshing on my end. So. Anyway, so AR, Heidi Ho to Geekarinos. There you go. Heidly Ho. RR, good to see you in the chat. Oh wow, he puts a 1. Oh Jesus.
And a 0.
And a 0. Okay. Good evening.
Not 10, not to be confused as 10.
Jesus. Oh, what's up, Sast? One too many.
Everybody's joining the chat tonight.
The Lemon song.
Hey, Red Crusader, I just read your Instagram stuff. The songs that I would normally play on the guitar is a lot of 80s, like Wasp, I Want to Be Somebody, and Love Machine, Kiss, old Metallica, like Justice for All, Master of Puppets time frame. That's a lot of the stuff I would play. Plus, I wrote a lot of my own material. So I haven't played in, long time.
Thank you, Tyler.
It's been a bit.
Tuning in.
But the stuff that I played, it was, well, with the exception of Metallica. Metallica was a bit more challenging. I had to bring my A game to do them. But everything else was a lot easier. And that was the point to me. I wanted to sound good, but I didn't want to have to like full hardcore concentrate on playing. I wanted to be able to interact with the audience and with my other band members. So we did a lot of like 80s metal is what we did.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me go. Apparently, the 7s beat out your 1, Rob.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Jesus. Everybody wants Atham. Don't you understand, guys? Atham isn't that cool.
That's true. He's kind of cool.
Well, I didn't say he wasn't cool. I just said he's not that cool.
Oh, okay. He's cool enough to be on our show.
Well, now you're starting to, plumb the dregs.
dragging the bottom with the net.
That's right. Well, I guess I shouldn't talk considering we do have Aaron show up on the show. Atham's cooler than him, so.
I think everyone is cooler than Aaron.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yes. Aaron is actually.
Why we bring him on? I'm still trying to fathom that.
I don't know. Aaron is actually two people. Really, he's Aaron, which no one cares about, and then he's Captain Capitalism.
Angry Captain Capitalism.
Angry. Well, that's part of the shtick. It's Aaron and his shtick. So everyone loves the shtick. If they knew the real Aaron, his rum drinking, cookie eating, vitamin eating ass, no, then we'd give a shit. So hold the heathen hammer high. That's right.
Well,
TJ,
it does look like we've got most of the usual suspects in the chat, the ones that matter.
Yes.
Most of them are here. Hey, RR. I'm back.
That's right. You're drinking your piss water as usual.
No, that's the Bud Light.
That's
This is
true.
the champagne of beers.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah, get it right.
I know, right? What the hell?
I can't afford, $8 bottles of beer every time I drink.
That's true.
Rob, you can. You just have to be willing to sacrifice in other areas of life.
Well, let's see. That would mean I'd probably have to sacrifice this show because I'd have to work fucking overtime to do it.
See, I'm one of those guys where I can't go. Once you go good with beer, you can't go back.
Not me. I'm a cheap whore.
We can attest to that.
Well, yeah. That was one that Bull Rush. You know what? That's who's not. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he's in the chat. He thought, I'm going to donate to Rob's beer fund so that he'll buy better beer. And what did I do? I just bought more beer.
more beer. There's something that looks
Joke's
like
on
beer.
Him.
Rob, how are you ever going to know? Like, have you never had a Belgian ale? Have you never had a Trappist ale?
Probably not.
You Trappist monk, you?
Probably the most highfalutin beer I've ever had. Well, there was some stuff I did at a beer fest several years ago, but if you were to ask me, Rob, what was the name? I don't know. I just remember that it tasted good and I got drunk. But
Rob,
the other beer that I had was those ones when we were at the Village by the Sea. That coffee type of taste in beer that was $8 a bottle. Well worth the money, but like I said, that's $8 a bottle. It's like I can't afford that on a regular basis.
Rob, I just realized something.
Atham, check your Twitter DMs.
What was that, TJ?
I was going to say, you're very monogamous when it comes to beer. I look at beer the way you look at
That's about the
women.
only thing he's monogamous about.
No, but I look at beer the way you look at women, right?
You should flip that around sometime.
Yeah, try that out, TJ.
Just one.
I'm just saying, I love all beers. Pilsners, stouts, IPAs, Indian Pale Ale, Hefeweizens, Trappist ales, Indian Pale Ale. When there are pale ales as well.
Well, come out to Salt Lake and take me drinking and convert me.
Yeah, I'll make you a what do they call
it? Box beer. I'll tell you though, I saw Vince. What? All right, Atham, you're killing me. You did this last time too. Oh,
you're killing me, Smalls.
Invite me, you fools, and then he's out fucking off.
And
this
is
why I said no. This is why I was doing this. Yeah, because I
come in, I'm gonna block you.
No, he's got to make a generous donation to our tobacco fund.
There you go.
Hops Muscuti, I like that, Nick. That's a good one. Hefeweizens are the fat girls of the beer world.
Yeah, Mick to his asking, never tried homebrewing. I have the kit, I just haven't done it. I got too many things I'm trying to do at once, so I'm trying to knock out.
So get rid of something and do that, because that can be your geek intel then.
There you go. This is a Guinness right here, so finishing up the last of it.
I mean, I'm drinking a good whiskey, but I didn't brew it, obviously, or distill it, obviously. So, as far as Geek Intel, I mean, I don't know if I've ever shown off. I probably have a long time ago. It's my corncob pipe. You can get these for like $4 to $3 at a gas station. I got one in some podunk town, and they're great because they don't they retain the heat. Where if you've got the clay pipes, they heat up very quickly, so you can't you have to smoke them infrequently, or else it just gets so hot you can't hold it in your hand. But yeah, pipe tobacco smoking is a very inexpensive hobby to get into. Yeah, I'm. My hope is to do some sort of a Belgian or monk ale. I want to do one of those that the monks admit. So monks couldn't. What's going on?
A bunch of shit to look up.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Gosh, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. You guys interrupted me.
How did I interrupt? I didn't say anything. Well, there he is. Now he comes back. Oh, hey, guys. We see you gonna let me in or what?
You've got time to goof off in the fucking chat. You're having. Oh, you know what? You know what? Fuck you, Adam. That's funny. No, when you can get on, just hop in, and then we'll, let you sit in the backstage for a while and make fun of you.
Oh, as far as I guess Geek can tell, this is the book I'm reading right now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Right.
it's I was reading about Dostoevsky, and that guy's life is absolutely fascinating. Like a lot of Russian writers, in fact. I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, here or when we were doing that writers roundtable, but Dostoevsky got involved in like some sort of revolutionary socialist group when he was young. He got sentenced to death, and they brought all the radicals out, that his comrades, and they were about to shoot him. And right before they were about to pull the trigger, a messenger arrived saying that the Tsar had pardoned them all and sentenced them to hard labor. Well, apparently, a bunch of the men who were on the about to get shot went insane from the experience because they were expecting to get shot. And his life was, if you read his books, one thing to keep in mind, I skim over a ton of his book because he didn't actually write his books. He dictated to this 18-year-old girl he ended up marrying, who could do.
What a shocker!
I know.
What a shocker!
You gotta read. I mean, if guys want, I can read the introduction about this. This girl, he was out, like, as far as this girl's concerned, he was alpha. He was in debt. He had epilepsy. He was not faithful to her. All this other stuff. She ignored his infidelities. She drove off creditors. She helped deal with his epilepsy. She fought for his.
She was a ride or die chick, yeah.
Oh, she thought he was the greatest Russian who ever lived. No joke. But as the guy who's writing the foreword pointed out, without her, we wouldn't know about him, because he had this book contract that he was supposed to fulfill within a certain time period. Yeah.
Goddamn Borush.
I know, Borush. He had this contract for a book he was supposed to finish and have to the publisher within 3 weeks. And he had not written the book at all.
Holy shit.
And so she appeared into his life. I'm not sure how, but he met her, and he managed to dictate to her the entire book. But as soon as it was done, it was a rough draft. They just sent it off to the publisher. So a lot of his books never went through the editing process.
So kind of like today's books that a lot of people self-publish.
It doesn't go through the editing process, exactly.
Right. So nothing's really changed. It's just gone from paper to digital.
If you got a contract, a publisher book contract like Dostoevsky did, you would at least edit it a little bit of some kind. But I mean, this book is very, very long, and I've read through 150 pages of it, and nothing's really happened. For the most part.
Do you want to know? I'll save you the suspense. Nothing really happens throughout the whole thing.
I know what happens in the book. Or like parts of the book. I just don't want to read it, because I've always been fascinated by Russian literature. I haven't read Russian literature for about 10 years. The last major book, obviously, Dr. Zhivago, but I also read Anna Karenina, and I was thinking, good God, Tolstoy, you could have cut this book down by about 300 pages. Just cutting out the bureaucracy stuff that nobody cares about. But
there's that.
That book started out, Anna Karenina started out with that famous line, All families are miserable. They're just miserable in their own way. I was like, I think they're projecting a little bit there, Leo.
Probably, yeah. Rob's got his pussy. Nice.
So other than my books, Vince, what are you reading?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me go get a few. Hang on.
He didn't write his books.
Yeah, he married the 18-year-old who did it for him. All right, hang on. Let me go grab a few.
While he's grabbing, I'll tell you what I've been reading. I just started Doc Perodin's School of Errors.
Oh yeah, that's a good book.
Yeah, the little bit I've read so far, very good. There's a book by Nick Tosches, I think is how the last name's pronounced, or Tosches. It's called Under Tiberius. That's a phenomenal book. It's the synopsis is it's fiction, but it's written like it's real. And it's Jesus was a scam artist. He was a grifter. So it's good. It's very blasphemous, very sacrilegious in a lot of ways, because it gives you a whole different perspective of Jesus. So Under Tiberius, guys, if you want to check that out, that's a good book. And I'm reading the authoritative edition of Ragnar Redbeard's Might is Right.
I'm trying to think what other books I've been reading. I actually haven't done a lot of reading lately. I mean, other novels. I haven't done a lot of fiction reading. Because part of it is I just don't have the time. I'm so consumed with reading other stuff as part of my job, or I'm reading my own stuff, or writing my own stuff, or editing my own stuff. And my problem is when I read something, I tend to write like it. So I read a lot of Russian literature, and I can tell because some of my books are written like.
You're starting to write in Russian?
No, but Russian literature has a very distinct style and way of. English literature is based around plots. Russian literature is based around themes. And it sounds weird, but when you read Russian literature, you can kind of tell that there's not so much of a story as it is showcasing concepts that the author wants to discuss.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very well, I have a shit ton of books, but this is my main three right now, and also your short story, which I'm reading. Give everyone a tease. This is a book called A Splendid Savage. It's about Frederick Russell Burnham. Think of him as sort of the original Indiana Jones. He was friend of Winston Churchill. Who else? Teddy Roosevelt. Ryder Haggard, and a few others. He was one of the first American scouts. He was a frontiersman. He dug for gold, panned for gold, traveled the world. Basically, your quintessential adventurer before adventuring was really a thing. So This is pretty good. He also was a big influence on Powell of the Boy Scouts. A lot of his influence in there. This one, Cinerama. This has to do with a lot of the sleaze pulps that came out of the 60s. This is really good. And then I talked about this actually on Twitter and shared a few posts. This is Robert McGinnis, The Art of Robert McGinnis. You may you're gonna recognize this style on a lot of the James Bond books. He did stuff for movies. He did commercials.
Is that the guy that you were posting pics the other day on Twitter?
Yes, and then Aaron took the one, and I'm like, dude, like, you're using copyrighted material, Aaron. What the fuck are you doing? So he was turning those into memes.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the three main books right now, and I have others. I'm not going to bore you with those. So Anyway. How about you, Rob? You reading anything?
Well, I already told what I was reading while you were off jerking off getting your books.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me again, you son of a bitch. Give me
Well,
the
encore presentation.
Give me the Cliff Notes version.
Well, that's all I gave these guys in the chat was the Cliff Notes. So, like I said, it's a fucking encore.
Give me the 2 titles.
School of Errors from Doc Perodin, Under Tiberius by Nick Tosches or something like that, and Might is Right, Ragnar Redbeard.
Oh, we talked about that
but we talked about Ragnar
in the Patreon. Yeah.
Right.
I have a book. Does that have to do with Norse mythology or anything like that?
Not at all. Well, that's not true. There's a little bit of it in there. He kind of mentions Odin and whatnot a little bit, but it's not about religion per se.
Absolutely, RR. Indeed.
One thing about it that I'll say about Might is Right that TJ will get a kick out of. The authoritative edition, the one that I own, is the guys who put it together found copies. I guess there's 3 or 4 editions that came out over the years. The original first printing was like back in 1896.
Oh.
The second edition was 1903. And the third edition, I'm trying to remember when the hell it was. But all of them, if I remember right from what I read, all of them came out before World War I happened. And yet the funny thing is, you read some of the shit the guy had to say, talk about kind of prophetic and whatnot about even today. And yet this was written over 100 years ago. And communism was around, but it hadn't really took off yet because World War I hadn't even happened yet. A lot of the imperial families were still intact and whatnot, but a lot of the shit he had to say about both like Russia, China, us, was very prophetic. So you'd probably get a kick out of that.
Oh yeah, interesting. Yeah, I've had a lot I've done a little bit of writing, like personal, just fleshing it out, but the concepts of might and right, and I haven't read this book, so I can't really comment on, but I'm assuming that he's arguing about the virtue of might, of being powerful, being strong.
Basically, he's talking about natural law, Darwin, the survival of the fittest. He takes pretty much all the other philosophies at the time and basically obliterates them. That it's all mental masturbation, that religion's mental masturbation, the states, everything's about control, and if it's not, it's natural law. Anything else is all fallacy and lies, and it's all jerking off, basically. So you need to check it out, man. It'll make you think, because he's saying, in essence, like all philosophy is a bunch of bullshit because it's stuff that man has created, but when it comes down to it, push comes to shove, natural law is going to win every time. It's very brutal.
I mean, I've definitely thought about the concept of might as being a form of a virtue, because I don't see it so much as a virtue, but it's more of a necessity because what's the whole point of, I've talked about this with a lot of people who subscribe to certain beliefs or philosophies or political views, and I've always said, if you want to achieve, the whole point is you want to achieve what it is that you desire, right? That's kind of the whole concept, right? So that would behoove you to get the power you need to implement that kind of a vision. So but a lot of these people shy away from power. They don't like power. They think power is scary. I mean, they really look at the whole Lord of the Rings type. I don't want to say that they interpret it accurately, but they always see power as being akin to the One Ring. And I've really started to look at power as a necessity, and it's not good or bad. It's almost like the Force. Power can be used to do bad things. It can be used to do good things. But being good does not mean you need to be powerless. You need to have power so that you can, one, assert yourself in your own personal life, but also you need power to defend yourself against other people. And a lot of times, this is just the inevitable conclusion I'm reaching, you need power to assert yourself over other people if for no other reason than if you don't do something to them, a good offense is a good defense. If you want to protect yourself and what you care about, and I'm not talking about violence, I'm talking about where you're in a position where you have options. Power is about options, right? So if you have the ability to maintain what you want or affect what you want, then it's a tool. It's like saying you want to build a house, but you don't want to have any tools to build it with. Well, it's kind of like saying I'd like to live in a, and it's not so much I'm like trying to look at the greater world. It's more of what do I want in my own life? What do I want in my own space, in my own world? Well, in order to do that, I got to have power. And I see power as a good thing now, whereas before, because you see what it does to a lot of people, but that's not power. That's more of the person in question, right? So Solzhenitsyn was writing about this in the Gulag Archipelago. He said, power doesn't. His viewpoint was that power does not corrupt. It merely allows somebody who was already corrupt to do bad things that they otherwise weren't able to do. But he says, people who are good will not do that kind of thing. Power almost exposes what kind of a person someone truly is, in that sense. So it's kind of like a homeless person and a billionaire. They both can be greedy. Just one of them's not able to really do anything about it because they're homeless and poor. So that's my take on that.
You have enough power to finish your dinner there, Atham?
That might be a new drug from south of the border.
Here he is. All right, now he's backstage. Everyone, there you go. Atham, have that. Jesus. Look at this.
Whoa, you got dressed to impress.
What's going on? I'm not wearing any pants.
We figured.
Well, thank you for letting us know that.
You want to see?
No.
We do not want to see south of your border.
We'll leave it up to TJ's imagination.
I know.
Oh, you're confusing me with Cappy.
That's true. Sorry. Forgive
Don't
me.
be jealous, TJ.
Of Cappy? I'm 5'10". What's there to be jealous of?
That's true.
Yeah, you beat him by what? An inch?
Yep.
Yeah.
We all have. Well, except for Rob, maybe.
No, Rob's like 5'2".
Pretty close.
Maybe I was too generous. Not smoking anything tonight, Rob? What?
Not tonight. I'm just drinking instead. No, Chris, not wasted yet. I'm only on my second beer.
Oh, good. No, not beer for me tonight.
Tamale night.
Yeah, did you look up how to run from ice?
Yeah, that's right. Tamale night.
Jesus.
Yeah, except the ice is like what, 60% Hispanic or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but
yeah, they probably wouldn't go for me.
Nah, he's got connections.
no,
Yeah.
they should go after the guys running the state legislature over there.
Yeah, it might have an extra scratch here and there. Rules.
Yeah, something's gonna smell weird. Jesus. So what are you up to, Atham? In fact, what are you reading these days?
The same book as Rob.
Oh, okay.
School of Errors. Yeah, I haven't finished it yet.
Nice.
I'm like more than halfway through. It's a interesting book. I like it.
It is good.
Yeah, did you finish it already?
Yeah. And I did a review for him too on Amazon. So
Yeah, Aaron didn't sing its praises because it's not full of statistics and it's not boring. Like, just kidding.
Right. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, he's talking. Dave is talking about philosophy or something. He's talking about really interesting stuff you can read about in a school safety book. And Aaron's like, "Where's all the statistics and the GDP generation?"
Yeah.
And
Did he provide?
Well,
I haven't seen, but did he provide any links to the stats or no?
He does a little bit, and he's actually in the house right now, so he might be able to.
Yeah, he can answer the question for us.
He just talks about concepts like situational awareness and the Taurus and all this other stuff, where it's about doing that stuff and buying this cheap book by Baden Powell, since we were just talking about him, about the that one game, rather than spending all this money on, those blocks that prevent cars from driving up into the school or some stupid stuff. They got these metal detectors, the SWAT drills, and all the other stuff.
And none of them work. None of that works.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He made a really good point. I highlighted it in my copy of the book. He talked about how insurance companies are the ones to talk to because they're the ones who have an incentive to actually mitigate or minimize risk. And none of them would recommend that stuff.
Right.
But it's a classic example of like people reacting emotionally. The barrier, the road barrier, the car barrier, that makes people feel good. It costs a lot of money, but
the $4 million camera system.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, you can follow the terrorists in real time. Yeah, it's not gonna help, guys.
As they're killing everybody. Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, here's the thing. They could also end a lot of these problems with schools. Do you know how? By allowing kids to actually physically fight each other instead of saying, "Oh, you touch someone in anger, you're suspended for 3 days." Right? Like if a kid's getting bullied and he finally snaps and beats the living crap out of the bully, you just say, "Yeah, you got what you deserved."
Yep.
Mm.
Or if you see two boys fighting, did you guys ever watch the movie, John Wayne movie, The Searchers?
No.
So I'm not going to spoil the whole movie. You got to go watch it. But there's a scene where these two guys are fighting over this gal, and the whatever he is, the deputy sheriff, whatever he is, he pulls the guys out of the house and goes, "Okay, guys, you're going to fight fair, right?" So they're punching each other. They're just kicking the crap out of each other. He's like, "Hey, no eye gouging, no dirty tricks or whatever." And they're fighting. They keep saying fight fair. Well, they're fighting. And then after the end of it, he's like, "Okay, guys, shake hands," right? Like that's the way you allow men to vent themselves violently at each other in a way that allows it to be released. Like they can release some of that pent up pressure and anxiety and anger in a way that's not destructive, right? But instead they go, "Oh, you touch them, you're suspended for 3 days, you're a danger, you're a menace to society, your life is over. We're all going to make fun of you on social media." And the kid snaps, and then they're like, we got to take away middle-aged men's guns because feels.
Mm.
Yeah, they suspend the guy who was defending himself, right?
Yeah, they turned it around and they turned him into the perpetrator.
Well, so that's what I actually heard it before I went to my high school, but because I was going from a completely different environment. They had that rule where you touch anybody in anger and you're suspended for 3 days. And I said, well, I remember asking somebody, well, what happens if somebody attacks you? And they go, you're supposed to just let them hit you until a school administrator shows up.
Oh, wow. That doesn't resonate well with me.
Well, think about it also. If you're a loser and you don't care about school, you can just go beat the crap out of anybody you want.
Right? No one's going to do anything.
Well, and also if you're, how can I put it? If you are, there's certain kids that they're just gonna say they're like you're a victim, right? So you can kick the crap out of another kid because it's not your fault. If your dad's a druggie or your dad's a criminal or whatever.
Your father's a criminal, TJ. What?
No, I'm saying there's separate standards of justice.
Oh, okay. Let's stop for a moment to pause to admire this McGinnis artwork. His women were just and insanely beautiful.
Oh yeah, nice
The
pussy.
Shack Road girl.
No, the one, that too, but the one in the white top and the short shorts.
She is THICC.
The what?
She's thick.
Yes, she is. That's to me that's the perfect shape. That's
She's
the women
thick
I like.
and not curvy.
Exactly.
What they call today curvy is not my curvy, but
No, exactly. That.
What the hell's a pog, Bullrush?
POGs.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
a POG?
Person
They're
other
like
than
these little round plastic or cardboard things.
Thank you.
I don't know what you did with them though. All I know is there were things called pogs.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
they're kinda big
is he
when I was-
talking about that army slang? Personal other than grunt, I think.
Bull Rush, I do that on a regular basis, but on Monday I'll be doing that on the webinar. So, yes. Yes,
So
I'll be
it's a
doing.
Monday.
It's Monday live. Yes,
Yeah, we ran across each other in the webinar the other day.
we did.
Yeah.
We did. It was a good show. It was always a good show.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
So you have a live model to demonstrate your skills on her, or what?
It's one of my girls. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll be there.
I'm assuming a lot of guys are going to be there.
Yeah.
So
Probably
it's
gonna get full.
most likely. But I have to. I need to really reiterate safety, and what I'm doing is the extreme end of the BDSM lifestyle. And like I said in a private Patreon, and I've mentioned this before, you're not going to go out to a bar, grab a girl, take her out to your car, and duct tape her up. That's just not going to happen. That's not.
Well,
That's not how.
you can. You're gonna get the cops.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, exactly. Yeah. You're going. Yeah. See, you're going straight to jail. So settle down, guys. Settle down. So. Besides, I don't use duct tape.
So uncivilized.
It's completely civilized. Are you kidding me? Women love it. Yeah, see? So anyway, now that I've quieted you guys down with my mummification talk. So
Yeah, 2020, year of the mummification.
No, all I really heard was, guys, you're not just going to do that walking straight into the bar and back out and safety. Good God.
Exactly.
Give us the shit, man. Come on. Throw it out there.
Well, not on this show.
Guys, take chances. Go ahead and meet that bitch at the bar and take her back to your van and tape her up. What the hell? Why not?
That's right. That's why Rob spent 5 years in the slammer. Trying not to bend over for the soap.
That's right. I'm joining inmate Twitter here. I'm gonna have that as my street cred.
There you go. That's too funny. Well, there goes my plans for tonight. Sorry. I mean, as TJ said, you can try that, but I wouldn't advise it. There's a level with other forms of bondage or BDSM. Can you get it? Can you delve into that on a first encounter? Absolutely.
I think so, yeah.
Absolutely. The more extreme stuff, because mummification is sensory deprivation for the most part, and you need a lot of trust there. That's not something you do lightly. So.
And if somebody's
So much overtime. Show us on the bear where Uncle Cappy. Show us on the bear where Uncle Cappy. Where hasn't he touched? Jesus, you should have seen.
Also, if you meet a girl on a first encounter, like first time you ever met her, and she's willing to do that kind of thing, that might be a red flag.
No, well, hang on a second. Hang on. Let's clear something up. We're not marrying these women.
That's right.
Well, no,
we're not wifing them
hoes. We're enjoying their erotic BDSM company.
We're talking about a level of trust. Should someone right? But,
well, TJ, I'm talking. Well, yes, a level. If a woman right away going from a bar scenario, or you just meeting her and you're going to go mummify her, well, yeah, that might be a little weird.
No,
as far as well, not for us. We're fine. We're fine with it. We're okay with it.
This is business as usual. What the hell?
No, pretty much. But
another day in masculine geek.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But you have to be careful too. If you're going to be carrying bondage equipment around in your car, you got to make sure when you get pulled over, you have a ready explanation of why you have that.
Just don't have a ski mask and don't be driving a Volkswagen Beetle. You'll be fine.
A Volkswagen Beetle?
Yeah, go look at what Ted Bundy used to drive.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So the newer ones are okay, right?
What's that?
The newer ones, they're fine.
No Volkswagens. A Volvo you might get away with, but not a Volkswagen.
Marty's a funny guy. That's
Nick,
funny.
funny.
You love it and you know it. You love your sensory deprivation, you crazy son of a bitch. Red Crusader, yes, that would be Monday night. And it kind of does, Nick. Yeah, and then you just walk away.
Oh boy.
Drink faster, TJ. Drink faster.
That's right. Oh, that's too
You
funny.
getting drunk tonight?
Why not?
Well, TJ's getting drunk,
No.
or Rob is.
Well, that's
Well, that's
nothing new.
pretty par for the course. Yeah. Oh shit. I rather assumed you would be.
Hmm.
Who? You?
No, Red Crusader.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's check out the chat.
So anyway,
We're
what do you
talking
guys
about
do this weekend?
webinars.
What are we doing this weekend?
Last weekend, what do you do?
Oh, last weekend. I was mostly out on the motorcycle. It was almost 70 degrees here Saturday and Sunday.
Fuck
So-
you.
It was
God.
it was so nice. It was like a gift from on high. The gods were smiling. So I was like, you know what? Out on the bike. Sorry,
Yeah,
Rob. I briefly thought of you for 2 minutes. And I said, fuck that guy.
2 whole minutes. Wow.
Speaking of motorcycle,
I'm surprised I even got that. I'd have maybe thought about you for about 5 seconds. And that would've been
What?
about it.
I figured, Rob. You're always such a kind gentleman.
Right?
You bastard.
speaking of motorcycles, I got a Geek and Tell. You want me to go grab my jacket?
Yeah,
Yeah,
grab your
please do.
jacket.
So you have a motorcycle jacket without the motorcycle?
No, that's what he is now.
Poser.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
snowing
Bull
here
Rush, it
last
took you
weekend.
nearly a week. It'll do that. It's
Yep.
cold in Salt Lake. It's fucking cold tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yep, it's cold here in freaking Tahoe.
What's the temperature there, Atham?
I don't know, let me look it up.
Yeah, look that up, will you? Because I'll bet you I got you beat.
Excuse me.
Maybe, let's see. I'll tell you in a second. 28 degrees.
Oof.
Wow, same here.
Let's see what it is out here. It was 52 degrees this afternoon. Now it is
Oh, we have a storm coming.
37. Oh, you got snow too?
Yeah, it's gonna start later tonight, and it's gonna stop on Friday sometime.
Oh, okay. We're getting ours on Saturday.
Oh, interesting.
It's probably your fault.
Yeah, it's
It's coming
anyway.
over, blowing this way. There you go.
Yeah, it was the $450 jacket that I
are
got
you-
for $90.
Are you a jet or a shark?
Neither.
I'm
I'm
sure
a-
you got
I'm a-
that
I'm a-
reference. I know you got that
I
reference.
got the
though.
reference. West Side Story, yeah.
Come on, I figured. Nice.
I was
Ooh,
like
Nick,
thinking,
28.
what's the Puerto Ricans? Right in
What?
West Side Story. One's a Puerto Rican gang.
I thought that was the Sharks, but maybe I'm right. I haven't seen it. It's been a long time.
It's a new jacket, Doc. I just got it.
Shut up, Bull Rush.
No shit.
God damn it.
It's 4 degrees. Well, it was 4 degrees this morning in my neck of the woods.
What is it right now?
That's a good question. Check. Check.
37 here.
It's now 16 degrees and it's been snowing all day.
16?
Yeah.
Well, then you win the current low right now then compared to us and the guys in the chat.
Right?
Nope, Chess just got beat. TJ has him.
Yep.
16. Fuck me. That's cold.
Let me check to see what's going to be following days. It's going to get a little warmer. It's going to get up to 34 tomorrow.
Oh
Ooh,
boy.
above
Heat wave.
freezing.
Wow.
We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave.
Balmy 34.
White Christmas. I got that one.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Rep the
Which had nothing to
Pacific
do with
Northwest, TJ. Represent.
Represent. Stevens Pass over on Highway 2 has been closed for 2 days straight.
Oh yeah.
been crazy.
Sounds like a news article. Stevens Pass closed for 2 days straight. People on the other side are resorting to cannibalism.
And no one cares about Aaron Clary.
Oh, thanks, Borush.
So who in the chat thinks I should have another beer? Type 1.
All pro. This global warming needs to
let me
speed
help with
up.
that.
Take too long. Yeah, seriously. Does it have CE? What's CE armor? You're the motorcycle guys.
I don't wear that kind of horse shit.
No, I have I have a leather black. I have a black leather jacket, but it's not as intricate as yours.
Yeah, I like it. Dude,
I like
if you
it.
want to,
No, it's pretty sharp.
right. If you
Okay.
want to get good stuff, if you want to get good jackets, you just got to wait until they go out of business. Then you just buy up what you want.
No, that's true. That's a good idea.
So I'm going to be getting, I can't remember, I should have bookmarked it, but there was this really cool modern cafe racer. I think it was Honda or Yamaha that I wanted to buy. So I got to go look that up again.
All right, cool. I'll be picking up another one in February.
First, I got to get my motorcycle endorsement, but that will come in good time.
Mm-hmm.
I need a black leather girlfriend. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
TJ, I would suggest taking the class.
Yeah, I'll probably do that.
Because then you get to actually practice on a bike for 3 days, well 2.5, and then get some a little bit of experience under your belt. Try the bike out and go, okay, you know what? I really do want a motorcycle.
No, I know I want a motorcycle.
All right, cool. Because when I took the class and I was tooling around the parking lot, you didn't go over 25 miles an hour. I'm like, fuck, why didn't I do this long ago? I waited. It's like, why did I wait for so long? I tell everybody it's the closest you can get to flying without being on a plane. It's amazing. Right? Right, Rob? Yeah.
Yes.
I will never. I'm riding now in the wintertime. I'm not winterizing my bike. I'm winterizing myself.
Yep. Yeah, I don't winterize my bikes.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm riding. Well, I'm not going to ride in the snow, but it's 16 degrees. I don't care. I'm riding.
Yeah, they got gear for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bullrush got to see my bikes. He got to sit on them too.
Cool. Whoa, now. What, Rob? What? Two things. How many bikes do you have, and what year is that Indian?
2 bikes. The Indian is 2017.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, bought it brand new off the showroom floor, and she's a beast. She's a beautiful bike. She's the long distance hauler.
Okay.
So
what's the engine displacement on it?
1900 cc.
Ooh, nice. That's a good touring bike.
Oh yeah, that was the purpose of getting
That's the idea. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Heated seats, so it keeps my ass toasty.
Nice. Do you have the grips too?
No, the grips are not heated, but with the fairing the way it is, your hands are kind of protected anyway.
Okay. Yeah, and your legs too, because I found that the two things that bother me the most, or I feel the coldest first, my legs and my hands.
Yep.
So.
Well, and that's about right too. And when it comes to your hands, other than getting a whole different bike with the fairing and the guards and all that other bullshit, or getting heated gloves, because that's an option as well.
I've got a pair of those, yeah.
Okay, so if you got that, the other one, if you want to go the cheap route, the way I go is whatever gloves you have, get those hand warmers that you can buy at the gas station.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen those, they're little packets.
Use those for hiking, yeah.
Yeah, you put them, in the palm of your hands, put your gloves on, and that'll keep your hands warm. Sometimes I've gotten chemical burns from them, but I will put them on the top of my hands as well. Same with the foot ones for your boots. Other than, you can wear whatever kind of boots and like socks and whatnot, but I have not yet found anything that will cut the cold of doing 70 miles an hour on a road that the standing temperature is like 35 degrees.
Yeah.
I've not found anything, considering the wind chill at 70, 80 miles an hour, you got to be in the negatives at that point with that type of wind chill. I haven't
You
found
need to be
anything that will
need to
cut the
be-
cold for your
yeah,
feet.
you need to be exactly. You need to be wearing a heated onesie. Like one of those Carhartts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're absolutely correct about the feet.
Those are the two big things that I've found, though, that unless the temperatures are probably 40 plus, because again, factoring wind chill of when you're moving, and the faster you go, the colder it gets. Basically, there's a chart. Hey, Atham, look that up. There's a chart out there
A wind chill chart
that
for
actually
motorcycles.
talks. Yeah, and it's the outdoor temperature versus the speed on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And it breaks it down that, like if the outside air temperature is like 40 degrees, but you're doing 75, it's actually with that wind chill, your body temperature, or the temperature of the outdoors is now, like -5 or something like that. I mean, it's insane. But that's always been the areas that I've had to deal with it. It's always the extremities. Your hands and your feet are the first to go, where you can wear Under Armour and stuff. Cause I've got all kinds of like heavy duty, state of the art thermal gear to cover my legs, cover my chest and arms. But it's the hands that I've bought all kinds of gloves, and short of buying like the heated gloves that you can plug into your bike or something like that, I've not found anything. The hand warmers will work for a time until they start to wear out, because you'll get a few hours out of those. But after a while, your hands are still claws when you pull them off the handlebars. You're like, oh, my fingers don't want to move. So, correct, Sass. The wind chill's over every inch of your body. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Sass. Yeah, 50 degrees and 50 mile per hour wind chill. Yeah, the wind chill's 27. And like I said, try riding in like 35 degrees. That's the outdoor temperature without any kind of wind chill, and then factor in at 80 miles an hour. And yeah, you're freezing your ass off. My chest and my face and whatnot were fine. But yeah, my hands and my feet. And I've got really good boots, really thick socks. TJ'd be impressed with some of the socks I have, and that doesn't seem to do shit. So, so yeah, good times.
We're gonna buy a
Homeschool
motorcycle.
Time asked, you recommend other purchase than Indian? Depends on what you want. I bought a Honda as my first bike, and I recommend Honda just because it's never given me a day's trouble.
They're pretty solid.
They are, and you're not paying for the name. Where like buying a Harley, you're paying for the name, and I'm not a big fan of Harleys. I mean, I can appreciate them, but everybody and their dog owns a Harley, and like I said, you're buying the name is what you're buying with that bike.
Yeah.
And it's funny when I go to bike rallies and whatnot. If I show up on my Honda, I catch nothing but shit from all the Harley riders and pretty much anyone else.
Really?
Except other Honda riders, other Japanese, other rice rockets, basically. I show up on the Indian.
Different story.
Nobody says a fucking word.
Yeah.
Even the Harley guys are like, oh, damn. Because Harleys are so common, they're just like another bike. Everyone owns a Harley.
Yeah.
You show up on an Indian, they're a little bit rare.
Nice.
And where they're American made, for all the American made snobs, they really have nothing to say. They're just like, oh shit, he showed up on an Indian. They just want to come over and drool.
Yeah,
so they kind of shut up real quick when you show up on an Indian.
Let's see Indian motorcycle dealers in the area here.
Yeah, just say no to Harley. Yes, Honda's great. Indian's great. Indian is not cheap. You're buying the name there, but you're getting a better quality motorcycle as well as the name.
Yeah.
From what I remember hearing, I don't know if it's true or not, but from what I heard, Indian came out first, and Harley basically stole kind of how the bike was made and all of the stuff, and basically made the Harley off of what the Indian was. That's what I've heard. And so basically the Indian is the original Harley. Bull Rush, yes, Triumph still does make bikes. That's the British bike, basically. They're a good bike too. I'm not a big fan of them. I don't like the look of them.
Neptune.
I definitely like bikes that have a lot more curves, like a woman's hip and thigh, which is why my particular Honda and the Indian, they have that hip and thigh curve. Triumphs don't typically have that. They're a lot more straight lined. Oh, Pro, you're correct. The Ninja 250 is the Civic. Yeah, you'd good luck in stealing my bike, Bull Rush, considering all the anti-theft features it had. You wouldn't have gotten it far.
Nice. Let's see pre-owned here. There's a 2019 Indian Scout for $10,000.
You're correct, Chest. British bikes leak a lot like older Harleys do. And that cafe style, I know what you're talking about. I am not a fan of that cafe style. Like I said, it's too many lines. It's too angular for me. I like bikes that look like a woman laying on her side.
I think I will get a Yamaha V-Star for a first bike.
They're nice.
I used to have one.
Yeah,
I
what
will
do you think
tell
about
you
those?
they're great bikes, except if you want to change the oil or check the oil, they are a pain in the fucking ass.
Interesting.
Well, they are. Changing the oil, my ex-wife had a V-Star, a 650 V-Star. It was a 2009 or 2010. I can't remember which. And basically, it's almost identical to the Honda 2004, the Honda Shadow that I own. Except with my Honda, checking the oil, it's a dipstick, and it's right, the crankcase and all that, the oil casing is right by your right leg. You can literally reach down, twist the dipstick out, check your oil, and you do it just sitting on your bike. Checking the oil on a V-Star, it's a like a clear gauge, kind of like a little portcullis, and it's clear down at the bottom of the bike. So literally, because in order to check the oil accurately, you have to have the bike sitting up. You can't have it on its kickstand. So it literally involves two people to check the oil. Because one person's got to sit on it and hold it up, and the other person's got to squat down and check the oil. And changing the oil is the same thing. A V-Star sits a little bit lower than a Honda. And so if you want to get under there and change out the oil filter and pull the plug on it, you actually need a bike jack for that, because I have one, where like my Honda, I don't need a bike jack for my bike. I can literally just put it on its kickstand, reach under there, twist the oil filter right off by hand. And same with, just get a crescent wrench, or get the proper sized ratchet set up, and just get under there and fucking pull the plug. And so that was one of the things I did not like about the V-Star. That everything else about the bike was great. The performance, the mileage, the what is it? The fuel economy, all of that was fine. It was just the fact that like doing the very basics of like check your oil before you go and changing the oil, it was a pain in the ass. And it's like, fuck this. And so that's what told, from me having to do it, I was like, yeah, I'll never own one of these. Because I want it easy. I want it simple.
Right. I have a couple of friends who have suggested instead of getting a cruiser as a first bike, that I should get a dual sport.
Nope. Dual sport is great if you want the worst of both worlds. Okay, a dual sport is not really great off-road or as a cruiser, and it's not great as a sport bike. So you have to decide, because doing that, you're literally getting the worst of both worlds. They're not good for anything as far as you're not going to get the performance of say a crotch rocket or a sport bike, and you're not going to get the reliability, the mileage, the comfort, all of that on a cruiser. And so to me, they're trying to give you kind of a happy medium it's not the best in either, but it's actually the worst in both.
They're giving you a sad medium.
Yep. And so to me, that's a bad idea. And, to each their own, but that's what I've learned about those type of bikes. It's like, because I've rode them, and it's like, wow, this there is really no positive here. Yeah, I could go off road or whatever with it, but it's not as good as an off-road bike. It's not a great cruiser. It's not a great sport bike. It's really, in my opinion, is not great at anything. And so that's where I would say pick your poison. If you want a sport bike because you want to take corners real sharp and you want to go really fucking fast, then get a sport bike. Realize you're not going to go long distance on a sport bike because they're not comfortable. I've rode with guys who put in 75 miles in a day, and you practically had to pick them up off the bike. It was so brutal to them. Okay. Or you could get a cruiser where, they're not going to do 140 miles an hour at the blink of an eye, and they're not going to corner like a sport bike will. But then again, I can do 180 miles, 200 miles in one sitting as long as I have enough fuel and I don't get saddle sore. I'm not getting tired sitting on the bike. And for me, sport bikes are great. I've rode those too, but they're great for track. Like if you want to race and you want to really open them up what they were designed to do, they're great for track. They're not so great for city highway, being on, all that, trying to throw a woman on the back, having her ride bitch. It looks cute when you see other people doing it. It ain't great for her because she'll bitch and moan about it. You think it's uncomfortable for the actual pilot of the bike. It's even worse for the passenger, where a cruiser, on the other hand, can be a lot more comfortable for both you and your passenger. So obviously, you guys probably can tell which direction I lean towards.
Yeah, I haven't had any bike yet, but I think I'm leaning more towards cruisers myself.
I would. That's my opinion, because you can do more on a cruiser than you can on a crotch rocket or on a sport bike. Like I said, I know people that own sport bikes, and they're around here in Salt Lake, like going up Immigration Canyon, which has got a lot of twisty turnies and a lot of hairpins. And it's a relatively short ride to get to the canyon. It's like 15 minutes away. A sport bike is great for that if you want to rip up and down that thing. But you can only go up and down Immigration Canyon so many times before you're like, okay, well, I've done that. Well, now where do I want to go? Well, I want to go to Evanston, or I want to go out to Wendover. Yeah, they're going to be pulling you off that bike, and you're going to be just like, oh, my ass is broke, my arms are broke, my back is broke. And you can go out onto the, riding out on Interstate 80 going towards Wendover. Yeah, you can get there in probably a half an hour doing 180, and the cops are going to pull you over and put you in jail for going 180.
Right.
And so, the bike was designed for high speed, but legally, if you want to stay out of trouble, you're not going to be going that fast. Personally to me, I've opened up bikes that quick, and it's a rush. But that's why I don't own a sport bike. It's like, they're limited in their use. And so a cruiser, it's like, oh, I can get up to about 120, no problem, real fast on my Indian. And I don't even know what its top speed is because I've never gone beyond 120. But I can get up to it in probably 3-4 seconds. My Honda, I can get up to 120. It'll probably take about 8 or 9, maybe 10 seconds to get there. And I've rode at that speed, but I'll tell you, at that speed, you're paying attention to every little detail going on around you because, man, everything is a blur at that point, at least for me. We're doing 80, 90 miles an hour. Yeah, the cops can still bust you. But at those speeds, you can still kind of kick back and relax. And, hey, man, I'm having a good time. You can, wave at your buddy that's riding next to you, about 7 inches away. because that's the kind of riding I would do, is parade style riding at 90 miles an hour with a brother on the side of me. You know, and it's just a matter of, it's what do you want to do? If you're looking for short, you know, just riding around in town, a sport bike, you can do it, but it's overkill. In my opinion, the bike wasn't designed for that. It's a track bike. That's what it was designed for. So a smaller cruiser would be a better bet, especially if you're learning. Atham, how tall are you again?
6.
You're 6 foot.
Yeah.
What's your weight?
175.
175. Okay. So 175, 6 foot. You could probably start out a lot like Bull Rush. You could start out on a 1300. Or if you can find one, I don't know if they make them new anymore, but like a 900 would probably be okay. A 750 might be a bit small for you as a starter bike. And that's why I'm thinking probably between a 900 and 1100, a 1300 would be a decent sized bike for you, that not only would it be a good starter bike, but you could ride it for years, because you're going to have all the power you want in like an 1100 or a 900 series motorcycle. And I'm talking cruisers. I'm not talking sport bike. Okay.
Yeah, they don't have as much torque, right?
Yeah, correct.
Right.
So I'm thinking, you know, for your size, yeah, probably a 900 would be the lowest I would go if you can find one. A 750, you'd probably ride it for a year and then it wouldn't have enough power for you, unless you're riding mine, because I tuned it and tweaked it where it's got about a comparable horsepower to a 900, which is always fun when I do race people, because they think, oh, you got a little 750. It's like, yeah, let's see what you do. And being that I'm a smaller guy for one, and also that I have tuned it and tweaked it and whatnot, it blows a lot of bikes out of the water. And they're just like, holy shit, dude, you know, what have you done to that? And it's like, well, it's kind of the equivalent to a stage 1 or a stage 2. You know, it's definitely got more horsepower than it was when it was stock. But that 750, as far as just in town and even long distance, I've taken it long distance before I ever bought the Indian. And that bike, I've rode it to Sturgis. I've rode it to Las Vegas. I've rode it all over the place. Rode it to Colorado. Rode it up deep into Idaho, up into Montana. You know, and I could keep up with any of the bigger bikes. And that was not only me, but that was a bunch of luggage and a woman on the back. You know, so, but that bike worked out really good for me. I just choose to kind of use it more in town now. Plus the now ex-girlfriend, she bitched a lot about the back seat, driving her ass crazy, because they're not built for comfort for passengers, where the rider's seat itself was really well designed, for me at least, which is part of why I got the Indian, is it was a lot more comfortable for her, and it'll be comfortable for all my other girls. So, but I would say start out with probably a 900 or maybe an 1100. Same with Vince when he's ready to move up.
Yeah, check the private chat. That's the one I like.
Yeah, I like that, Athen. That's pretty cool. Mine's a Suzuki Boulevard.
Homeschool,
nice.
stage
S40.
1 or stage 2 is that's more in the Harley world, but it's where they basically they go in, and I mean, you could do it yourself. You can buy kits, but it's usually you have a professional do it. They go in and they kind of tweak and tune and modify your fuel injectors if you got them, or your spark plugs. They go in, they modify your manifold a little bit. They deal. It basically adds more performance to your bike. It gives it more horsepower. And they usually, a part of that tweaking and tuning usually is modifying your exhaust as well. And so, like my 750 does not have a stock exhaust anymore. I've got an aftermarket, and so it's loud as hell when I ride around. So the neighbors hate me, but that's okay. Loud pipes save lives. All right,
Yeah,
I'll be back.
So now we have to do a Masculine Geek road trip.
That's in the works too. Yeah.
TJ, you need to get a bike then.
I'll work on it.
Yeah, you already
Work
have
harder.
a jacket, I see.
It's a start.
I gotta find the right bike.
Well,
I've always wanted the Cafe Racer, like the Captain America bike.
well, I mean, not for anything. I would take the classes and then go to some dealerships and sit on some bikes and take them for a cruise. To me, that makes the most sense, especially if you're on the fence about what you want to get or you're not sure.
Yeah.
So, but try the Cafe Racer. You may say, yeah, you know what, I like this look, but it's not very comfortable for me. So,
I guess bikes are kind of like pistols in that sense that you have to really try it first yourself and before you commit.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know about that. I caught that little bit there. I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying in general about try it out. But when I bought my Honda, which was the very first one I bought back in 04, I literally, all I did was I decided I wanted a Honda versus a Suzuki or a Yamaha or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I went down to the dealership. I knew how much money I could spend. I knew basically what it was going to cost, what the sticker price was.
Mm-hmm.
I also knew the modifications I wanted them to do to it, which was the tuning and all of the stuff with the exhaust and everything, kind of the stage one I was talking about.
Yeah.
So I had a pretty good idea of what it was going to cost me, and I knew it was within the price range. And then it was, for me, honestly, it was the look of the motorcycle. I wanted that retro, very curvy. Like I said, it's a woman's hip and underside, the breast swell, and then her hip, and then part of her
Jesus,
stomach.
you gonna ride or fuck it? What the?
Well, both.
Okay.
But I wanted that kind of retro look that they had, and I wanted it to be a certain height, considering I'm vertically challenged. And so I sat on all kinds of bikes, and considering this was my very first motorcycle, I was like, okay, the 1100s that they had were a bit too big for me at the time. Same with the 1300s, the VTX series. They were a little bit more, and then the 1800 VTX was a monster, at least as a starter. It was like, holy shit, are you kidding me? And that's where I thought, well, the 750 was low enough. It's heavy, but it was still light enough that it's like, yeah, I think I can handle this bike. And so I literally was like, yep, this is the bike I want. They were like, great. When do you want to buy it? And I'm like, how about today? So I bought it and I rode it home that day and, took all the back roads and subdivisions and, the 25 mile an hour speed limit stuff, because I literally hadn't rode a motorcycle in 20 years. And so it's, learning the throttle and the clutch and everything. And I'm stalling it and killing it and all that shit. And they're like, you sure you can do this? I'm like, well, I don't have a choice. My ride left. I get to take the bike home. I'm not going to push it home.
Baptism of fire. Nice.
Right. And that's
I remember
exactly
you telling me
what I
about
did.
that story. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's exactly what I did. And so
Nice.
I rode it home, and then I rode around for a while, and then I took a motorcycle safety course that taught me how to ride a motorcycle. So
yeah, they offer those classes in my at college. Yeah, so
I'd recommend that.
Yeah.
I know with mine here in Utah, when I went and was getting my motorcycle endorsement, doing the written was just like you do for a car. It's a written test. But then the instructors or the people at the DMV were like, hey, did you know that, instead of having to bring your bike down and doing the road test, you can take this course. They'll teach you even more than we require, that the state requires.
Yeah.
And that counts as your road test.
And you get a insurance discount card too.
Yeah, exactly.
On completion.
Yep.
And it's easy. I mean, unless you dump the bike, you're gonna pass.
Well, and even if you, depending on how you dump the bike, you actually could end up still passing. But it's their bike versus your bike.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So you're not dumping your bike and fucking it up. You're fucking up their bike.
Yeah, they're little, and they're usually like little 250s.
Yeah, they're like 250 Rebels type of thing. They were small bikes. Getting on them, I was like, woohoo! woo, this is light, small, and easy compared to what I was riding, doing that 750.
That's what
I
she
thought
said.
that 750 was a monster at that time.
Yeah, right.
Where
I know,
now it's like, Jesus, the Indian's the monster.
Seriously, I was on a Kawasaki Vulcan, and it was a 950. And I'm like, oh shit, I better downgrade for my first bike. This is a little too much. So, but now I'm way past this is the Suzuki Boulevard I have is a 650. So I already want more power.
Yeah.
So yeah.
JD, you're asking what would be a good starter bike for 6'3". How much do you weigh? And what is your experience with motorcycles? Have you ever ridden before or no? Bull Rush is probably accurate. The 1300 would probably be, again, depending on your experience, a 13 or an 1100 if you can find one. 900 is probably the smallest you'd want to go. Otherwise, you're definitely going to be trading in real fast.
Yeah.
So I'll say that. That's one thing that being a smaller guy has worked out, and being a lighter guy. My 750 has all the power in the world. Like I said, I've had women on the back of it before, and I've gone up Parley's Canyon, which is like a 7 or a 9% grade. And I've only had to downshift from 5th gear to 4th, and that was it. And that's with a passenger. Otherwise, I was, doing 80 up the canyon. It has all the power in the world that I ever needed. 5'10", 150 pounds. RR, again, what's your experience with motorcycles? The more experience you have, guys, the more you can probably go with a little bit bigger of a motorcycle. RR, in your case, 5'10" and 150. Okay, you're about my dad's height and my dad's weight. I'd say about an 1100, maybe a 1300 tops. It's better to go a little bit smaller and lighter to begin with, guys, than it is to go big and heavy. A big and heavy bike. Yeah, and yeah. I mean, if
650 might be good to start out. We're 750.
750 would be the very I wouldn't even go 650. There's my ex-wife's bike, because I had rode it a bunch of times even before she was really into it. And while a 650 weight-wise was pretty comparable to a 750, there is a difference in horsepower there that I was just like, I'm literally maxing the throttle on her bike, and I'm getting up to maybe 100 miles an hour, and I'm like, this doesn't have enough power for me. But I also had a little more experience too. But if that had been my starter bike, I would have been trading up within a year.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, if you don't have a problem with wanting to trade up, but if you're looking at, no, I want to get a while out of this. That's another thing you have to think of too, guys. What do you want to do with it? If you're just looking at a bar hopping bike and being in town and just being in traffic, and you're going from bar to bar and you're going from home to work, you're using it as a commuter, literally any bike's going to work for you. Any small bike, a 650, a 600, a 750, a 900, all those are going to work. But if you want to take it somewhere, you want to actually go ride it, where you're on the freeway, you're on the interstate, you're visiting places, you have to keep that kind of thing in mind. And so if ultimately I want to ride interstate, I want to travel from one state to another and see the country or whatever, that's where, if you're a bigger guy, you might want to bump it up a little bit. That's why I'm saying an 1100 or a 1300. It's for your height, your weight. That's probably a good size bike for you. And it's going to give you enough horsepower for you to see other places than just commuting in town. You also have to consider, what kind of luggage are you going to be carrying on it? Are you going to have a passenger? If you're 150 pounds and you also got, a 150-pound wife or girlfriend, something like that, a 1300 will carry that no problem. a 150-pound guy and a 150-pound girl on my 750 will carry that no problem. Okay, that's my 750 because I've tweaked it. Your stock 750 might struggle a little bit, that you might top out at about 90 miles an hour. Maybe you don't want to do 90 miles an hour. Maybe you're good with 70. And if that's the case, then a 750 will work. But if you're a 200, 300-pound guy and you've got a 200, 300-pound wife or girlfriend, you're going to need a 1300.
Oh, hopefully not.
Just saying, just let's be realistic and be real here. I've seen most motorcycle guys, the motorcycle community, they're usually pretty big boys with pretty big girls. And you throw a 300-pound guy and a 300-pound girl on a 750, you're going to murder that motorcycle real fast. You need a bigger bike. It's to carry that kind of weight.
Girlfriend.
Well, yes, I agree with you, TJ, 100%. You're preaching to the choir, but I also know what I've seen. And seeing a guy on a 1100 with a big fucking girl and he's a big fucking guy, it's like two bears on a tricycle.
I was going to say, biker mamas are usually not small chicks.
No, they're usually
they're
not.
They're really not. No.
They're really not. And I'm just being realistic for the chat here, trying to help them out if they're looking at getting a bike. Okay, so Ralstonian, you have no experience. You're 5'10", 150 pounds. Since you have no experience, hold off on taking on passengers for a while. But given your height, given your weight, you're a pretty small guy. You're skinny. I'll say that. Or you're lean. I'll go that way. You're not a big boy. And if that's the case, seriously, probably like an 1100 or a 1300 max. Anything bigger than that, you're getting into probably too much motorcycle for a beginner. And even a 1300, in my opinion, it's like, you're pushing it. Just because it's like you're better off starting lighter to learn on, and then if need be, then you move up to a bigger bike. That's how I did the Indian. Where that's a 1900, she's a big beast. There's no way I would have started with that bike. That is not a starter bike. Even now, that bike is almost too much for me. Okay, but I also have a lot of experience with motorcycles. So, but that is not a starter bike where, I'm going to go out and ride this big beast of a monster and I've never rode before. It's like, oh, dude, you're setting yourself up for a wreck. You're setting yourself up for all kinds of strains and whatnot if that bike leans too far one way or another. And I'm not talking while you're riding. I'm talking about you're sitting at a stoplight. You're at the gas station. Because those big bikes, they are not light. You're looking 600-700 pounds easy. So, but go sit on some bikes, guys. And one of the best ways to figure it out is when you sit on a motorcycle, and this is more for cruisers than for sport bikes, you want to be able, ideally, to be able to sit on it where your butt's in the seat. You got your hands on the handlebars, but your legs are not locked. They're not. You're not doing the A-frame thing. You're not standing on the balls of your feet or on your tippy toes. You've got your knees are just a slightly bit bent. And if you can sit that and your knees are slightly bent, then that's a good seating for you. Where if your legs are straight but you're flat-footed, that's okay. It'll work. It's not ideal, but it'll work. But if you're on the balls of your feet or on your tippy toes, that's, as a starter bike, that's bad. That bike is too tall for you. And there are a lot of bikes. Your sport bikes are usually that way, but your sport bikes usually are a hell of a lot lighter too.
Yeah, and
like
Rob,
a 250 Ninja is nothing.
That's true. Homeschool just beat you, but now it's your turn.
Like video guys. Yeah, guys, since we're there, I guess we are there, aren't we? Hit the
yeah.
like button, guys, and hit subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with someone you think that would get some value out of it. But when you hit the like, it tickles YouTube's vagina, gives it all sorts of tingles, and gets it out there even further to the world, because that's what we want.
Exactly.
So do that for us, please.
Indeed. We have what, 25 watching and how many likes?
I don't know.
This is your job, Rob. What the oh my god. All right, hang on. Let me take a look.
Dude, I'm talking.
You are talking still. You can still.
Yeah,
You're not
no-
talking now. Jesus. God damn.
TJ's
Alright, so-
totally got the right writing jacket, though.
23 people watching.
23 people watching, 16 likes. Come on. What the fuck?
Oh, come on, guys. Hit that like button. Some of you ain't doing it. Come on. I'm
Debrief,
giving you some
Rob.
good information here. Hit it just for that alone if you're interested in getting into motorcycling.
Exactly. Rob's been riding for what, 20 years?
Pretty close.
Yeah. He knows from whence he speaks.
Yeah, be brief. I'm pulling a TJ. Hey, TJ, that jacket you're wearing, when you pull your arms in and like cross them, is it tight across your back or is it decent?
It's a little tight, yeah.
Little tight?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because I'm just wondering if that would be good for motorcycling then.
Especially with something
you
underneath
want
of it.
a little more play.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you know, I was gonna wear it the other night, but then I was thinking to myself, do I really? I don't know. I feel like I don't have to wear this while I'm riding a motorcycle, but if I'm gonna wear this, I better have a motorcycle. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true.
And while you're at it, I don't know what's the laws up there in Washington about helmets. Is it a mandatory helmet law there, or is it only for under 18?
I think it's a mandatory, but what's not is insurance.
Oh, wow.
Really?
That's a first, if that's the case that I've
But
heard.
it's also really cheap. According to my buddy who's got a motorcycle, it's like $5 a month.
Yeah, motorcycle insurance isn't bad in most places.
Yeah, I paid $98 for the year.
Yeah, that sounds about right for me. That I think I pay. It's about $200 a year for both my bikes, somewhere
That's
around
good.
there.
I don't think his jacket would fit, Rob.
No. But if it's a mandatory helmet law there, which I'm sorry if that's the case, TJ. I mean, a lot of people may disagree with me, but I'm not a fan of helmets, but that's my take.
Yeah, I don't like helmets either.
But I'll tell you what, if it is, you need to get one of their. They have one that's DOT approved, so you can actually. It's not just for cosmetics. It's not just for looks. You need to get one that is the Wehrmacht helmet. It's the German fucking helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, it is so awesome.
That's pretty
You
funny.
should see this thing. I used to have one until I, felt it. I dropped it or something and it cracked the fucker. But
I'll
it
have to
was
look at
great.
it.
Yeah, that would be the helmet for you, TJ. With that jacket, hell yeah.
Yeah, the only problem is it's really hard now to be a scofflaw in my area because there's so many cops. They're everywhere now. State patrol, county sheriffs, deputies. I see at least 3 on the highway driving into town. And it's new. I didn't used to see this at all, but in the last couple of years, it's become the case.
Sure. Well, and that's kind of like Utah, but at least we don't have mandatory helmet laws in that sense. And, you could get into the whole argument, there's guys that are all the gear all the time type of thing. And I've rode with those guys. They're in full leathers, the slide suit and the full visored helmet and everything. And that's great. That's them. I've done my share of, I've been full gear. I've been t-shirt and jeans and fucking canvas shoes. Not the epitome of safety. But I also know that most helmets are only rated for about 35 miles an hour too. And I've seen, I had a friend back in 2009 that was killed in a motorcycle accident right in front of me. The helmet did not save him. The helmet didn't do shit for him.
Damn.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I look at it. And the thing that I've learned from different helmets, the pros of helmets, besides the obvious potential safety factor, full visored helmets are great in rain or in hail. That's fantastic having them then, because I always take a helmet with me when I go interstate traveling, because one, I may go into a state that requires helmets. And also the freak storms tend to happen when you're on a bike.
Yeah.
And so being able to pull over and slap a full visored helmet on and then just keep going is fantastic. Because even rain hitting you at 70 miles an hour feels like little tiny knives cutting into your face.
Yeah, that shit hurts.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
you've got a good fairing with a good windshield on it.
Hmm.
But my Honda, I don't have any kind of fairing or windshield on it. It's totally open.
Same with mine, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like yours in that sense. I mean, my Indian, I probably wouldn't need a helmet as much because it's full fairing. It has an adjustable windshield. I can put it up or put it down. And so, that one would probably handle a lot of that kind of stuff. A 3/4 helmet, yeah, I've had them. I've had the half clamshell where it's just basically covers the top of the head.
Yeah.
But all helmets that I've encountered, at least on a bike without any kind of windshield or a fairing, the fucking wind grabs your head and you're doing this.
Yep. Yeah, you look like
Where
a fucking
when I didn't
bobblehead.
wear a helmet, man, it was like,
Yep.
oh, I'm good.
Wearing a helmet on a motorcycle to me sounds like wearing a seatbelt in a spacecraft. If there's going to be problems, the seatbelt ain't going to save you.
Well, and that's my own personal opinion. Again, this isn't meant to be a lecture for wearing it or not. To me, it's you do you. If you're the guy that, because you were in an accident or someone that was in an accident or it's just your own, whatever your reason is, you want to wear full gear, by all means, God bless you, wear full gear. If you're a guy like me that, fuck it, I'm going to wear t-shirts, jeans, and flip-flops or whatever. I don't recommend flip-flops, but I've worn, canvas Converse.
Mm.
Is it the best choice? No, I know that, but it's my choice. So sometimes that's what I wear, and I'm the one that's going to ultimately pay for it if something happens. I'm fully aware of that. But I also know that's how I like to ride, especially in the summer when it's fucking 110 degrees outside. And even with the wind chill, it only brings it down to about 90. So you're cooking either way. I might as well cook and at least have the sweat dried right off of me as I go. Oh, dude down here outrunning the cops. 150 hit a guide wire. Yep, on a light pole that split him in half. That'll happen.
Yeah, that's
How do you hit a guide wire?
I have no idea. Oh yeah, Atham, we have deers, bear, raccoons, coyotes, cats, dogs. I've hit 2 cats.
Ouch.
And I hit something else. It was bigger than a cat. I don't know what it was. I've hit a fawn deer, a baby deer, split it in half.
Oh, shit.
I thought the bike was going to go down. I thought that was my moment that it's like, well, here we go.
Oh,
because
shit.
I saw the little son of a bitch come out from the ditch.
Was it at night?
No, this was during broad daylight. This was like high noon.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw the mother deer, the doe, run across the road. And so I start going like this to everybody going, hey, heads up. Because we could see her standing clear over in this field. And we kept going. Well, all of a sudden, 2 baby deer come running right out. And I was the lead bike. That first little son of a bitch hit my foot peg, went under the back tire, and I split her.
Oof.
And the bike right behind me finished her. Cut her right in half.
Bull Rush, you're half the man he is. More than half the man he is.
And had that deer been bigger, I would have been done. I don't know if I'd have been dead, but I would have been done. Because that, I'll tell you what, that knocked the bike. I was shimmying down the road. But it happens.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've hit cats, I've hit dogs, shit runs out in the road and it's right in front of you, man, and all you can do is fucking smile and embrace the suck.
Yeah, I hit a squirrel the other day.
Yeah,
It
like a
just
little
ran- it
mini
just-
speed bump.
Yeah, like what the fuck? And I could see it spinning as it went off.
Yeah.
I couldn't help. The fucker lived. It was like all drunk and shit, and it ran up a tree.
Yeah.
I wasn't going that fast. I was coming out of a turn and I was maybe doing 20, 25.
See, and that's another one. Coming out of a turn where you're still kind of in that lean.
Yeah.
And you hit something, dude.
You
That's
can't
when
do
it'll put you
anything but
down.
you can't do anything but keep going.
Yep, that's what'll put you down. Where if you're usually, on a straight run like I was when the fucking deer hit me, because I didn't really hit the deer hit me. But when that happened, at least I was straight. I was fully upright, was cruising. It was about 65 miles an hour because I had slowed down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that son of a bitch came out, hit the foot peg, the the highway peg. I had my foot up on it.
Yeah.
So it hit into my foot and the foot peg and fucking knocked the bike.
Oh, shit.
And then I could feel it go under the back tire. And it was like, oh, shit.
Oh, smash. You hear crunch, the bones crunch.
Oh, you didn't hear nothing. Not over my pipes, you didn't.
Well, that's true,
And all I could do is look in the mirror and see black smoke everywhere. And I thought all these other bikes behind me were laying down at that point because it was just a fucking mess. And everyone came through it, but they were locking them up, trying to not hit them. You know, because like I said, 2 deer ended up being casualties that day. And the only other casualties was everybody's underwear. We all had to stop at a gas station and get a stick to scrape the shit out of our shorts. Yeah, we did have to scrape the shit out of our shorts. But beyond that, everybody made it. You know, nobody laid it down. It was still a good day.
Yeah.
I was still, for about 2 years afterwards, I was still, when I'd wash my bike, finding little bits of deer hair and little bits of gristle and shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
I thought I had cleaned it out, you know, like got up in the wheel well under the fenders and shit. And, you know, because I'm pretty meticulous about my bikes. And so I thought, you know, oh, I've got it all, you know, all that shit's gone. No, I'd still find shit like 2 years later. I'd be high pressure spraying it. And all of a sudden it's like, the fuck's that?
Oh, shit.
Well, that's deer hair. I know what that looks like.
Yeah. Jeez.
Sast, you're correct. Almost all crashes are pilot error, too hot in a corner. That is the biggest one. I know so many people, I've rode with so many people that they go into a turn, they go into a corner, and usually they're going way too fast for that corner, and they're not tight enough into it, or they're not going into it in the proper area they need to. They're not leaning enough into it. I've never encountered anyone that leaned too much and laid it down the wrong way. It's always they went in way too wide, way too fast, didn't put enough lean into it, went off the shoulder type of thing. Yeah, guys, going into a corner, slow the fuck down. You know, as you're getting into the corner, downshift a couple gears, at least one. Yeah. Tap the brake a little bit right before you hit the corner. Line it up so that you kind of start on the far edge and you go into that corner and you kind of pull into it as you're going into the corner. And then you come out and you stand the bike right back up and hit the throttle. You know, that's what I do, where I've gotten it for me on my bikes. I can take a corner without having to really tap the brakes, because you don't really want to be hitting the brakes while you're going, you know, when you're in the corner. That's the other area you're going to cause yourselves a lot of problems. Because your power transference, you want it towards the back tire, especially as you're coming out of that corner. And if you're still braking, all that power transference is in the middle and in the front of your bike, which means your back end is lighter. Now you're going to fucking fishtail and slide. Yep. You're correct, Sast. On a bike, you have to do all your braking before the corner. Yeah, cagers they don't understand that. JD, yes, I yeeted Bambi. Yes.
You horrible man, you.
Hey, I came out okay. That's all that mattered.
That is true.
I don't care about Bambi. Bambi can go fuck itself. It shouldn't have been out on the highway.
True that. Round 2 of pissing for Rob. Indeed. So, TJ, Atham, you guys gonna look for your bikes?
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I want to buy my bike first and then get my endorsement, or because right now it's winter, so that's probably not going to be, you know, I can just walk and be like, you know, I'll pay this much for the bike. That's it. And it's not like they're going to have a ton of people trying to fight for that bike at this time of the year. But I do need to do the endorsement stuff and just put it on the calendar and make time for it. I just don't know anything about what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, but, well, they're gonna show you. I didn't know either. I had always wanted to ride a motorcycle ever since I was 18, 19 years old. I had no experience, basically no experience. I said, you know what? I'm going to take the riding course, and they teach you how to ride. And there are some states where that course is free. There may be a waiting list. I know Pennsylvania's like that. But
It's
I
not
would,
free
yeah.
in Utah. You got to
Okay.
pay for it here.
All right. Well, but still, it is worth it because then you're going to learn.
Mm-hmm. You will learn more, and you will learn properly. Because that's one thing that me going out and riding before I ever took the course, I thought I knew how to ride. Turns out I was doing a lot of things wrong. And you reinforce that, you just get better at riding incorrectly. That in a moment where, you need to stop quickly or you need to turn hard or whatever, I would have done things incorrect and it would have been a disaster. And so that class taught me, oh yeah, that shit you're doing, yeah, that's fucked up. No, you're doing that wrong. You're gonna end up a grease stain on the road. You keep doing that.
TJ, go into the private chat.
So
I sent you a link. That's where I use mine to find mine.
Okay, cool.
Just type in your zip code, and you gentlemen out here in the chat watching. Go check that out. It is definitely, Rob is correct. It's definitely worth it.
what are the chances that Lovecraft gets canceled by the wokies?
No, do you mean his writing in general, or are you talking about some kind of movie or series I don't know about?
Yeah, what are you talking about, JD? What are you referencing here?
Because I just tweeted something, I retweeted something out about Lovecraft this afternoon on Twitter. If you're referring to that.
Yeah, I know what you're referring to, Vince. I saw that tweet, and it's people are fucking retarded, man.
People look for they look for shit to be bothered about.
Yeah, seriously, people need to just
shit to be bothered about.
When people complain or say, "Oh, this person," about Lovecraft or whatever, or anyone else, and they say, "Oh, this person was racist, this person was sexist, this person was misogynist," be like, "Yeah, we don't care.
Exactly.
We don't care, and stop fucking projecting."
Yeah, no shit. Christ Almighty, fucking ooh.
Well,
you saw my post about idiocracy. Jesus.
I did. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, the problem is look at what just happened. Not to go down that road, but just as an example of why people freak out is because all it took was some twit on Twitter complaining to MailChimp, and Stefan Molyneux got kicked out of MailChimp.
Oh yeah.
Like that's all it takes.
I think there's more to it than that, to be honest. I honestly think there's more going on there than just that.
Yeah, I need more info. I need more data, please.
Good point. So
yeah, I think there's a part of the story that we're not getting. I don't think they literally nuked him because of one person pissing and moaning.
So I'm looking at the website, Vince, and they're talking about different classes. There's Kickstart, Spring Refresher, Basic Rider, Intermediate, Adventure Riding, Three-Wheel Trike. Which one is for? I mean, then they have.
You want the basic course.
Probably the Kickstart. It's probably from ground up where you've never rode.
Now I'll tell you the course that I took.
Oh, here we go. Gotcha.
The course that I took was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it was Friday night from around. It was either 6 or 7 to 9, 10 p.m. And that was all class learning. And then at the end of that class, we took the written test. That was easy. You'll be fine. And then Saturday morning, it was, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock. And it ran until about 5. And we were on the bike. We were on the bike the entire time.
Yep. Same.
The same for Sunday. We were on the bike in the morning. And then the afternoon, late afternoon, we took the road test. So you're really on the bike for almost 16, 20 hours. Now I will say this: I made the mistake. I still loved it, but I made the mistake of taking that class in June, and they make you wear all gear, which means long sleeve
March
shirt.
and April.
I would do March or April, yeah, because I had to wear. You have to wear a long sleeve, long pants, boots, and
everything, full visor, gloves, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, and in June, July, you are gonna bake. Yeah, I did the same thing, Vince. I took mine like in July.
I know we got our asses off.
Yep, I was wearing full leathers, and I was miserable.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really. I was actually because you'll do it in rain or shine, unless there's unless there's a thunderstorm. If it's a light rain, you'll still practice in the rain, which is actually not for anything. It's still pretty good to do that.
No, it's great to do that.
So yeah.
But for us, we didn't have that. We had sun and 100 degrees.
There was not a cloud in the fucking sky, and it was. Oh my god!
Like I said, I think it was around 100 degrees that day. I was dying. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
You just you were so thankful to get up to 20 miles an hour to cool you off,
dude. But it didn't last long enough. You'd shift into second, then you had to downshift back down, and then I was thankful to get off the fucking bike and go sit under a tree.
Seriously, to have your lunch and then just drink a gallon of fucking water.
Yep.
The only thing I had problems with starting out were the figure eights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was your
really
issue.
Because you're driving real slow and you're trying to stay up. My balance is a little shaky. I did it, but it was still it wasn't as smooth as I would have liked.
Did you have the one where you had the square and you had to fucking like lean way hard and go? That was the only one I had an issue with. Was the square.
And then you had to dodge the two cones real fast.
Yeah. Come to the quick stop down the.
Yep, that was fun. You got to use, and that's actually what taught me to use both brakes. I know a lot of guys just use their.
No, you need to use both brakes.
I use both. I made it a habit of, and it's a lot easier, and I feel a lot safer when I'm doing my stops.
Well, and you can stop quicker when you use both brakes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if you do it right, it keeps that power differential I was talking
You're
about.
You're not gonna fishtail out, yeah.
No, it'll keep your power differential underneath you versus shifting it clear to the front, shifting it clear to the rear.
So the one I'm looking at right now, it enables you to get your motorcycle learner's permit at the state driver's license offices without further testing. So what does that mean?
Well, that means
learner's permits you're written.
Yeah, what that means is you're going to get, once you take the course and you pass the course test, they sign a voucher for you, okay?
Yeah.
You take that voucher to the DMV and you show them that. So that way you don't have to take the DMV's test. You just get the M endorsement on your motorcycle. Now you have to take it to a DMV that offers motorcycle testing. Otherwise they won't do it.
Okay, this one is done through the Department of Licensing. It's subsidized.
All right, that's fine. So you don't have to pay for it.
Oh, I think you do.
It's
like
either way, it's recognized by the state.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you'll
Crown approves.
Exactly. So
it pleases the fucking
if it
Crown.
pleases the Crown.
Right. Dude, don't even get me started. Fucking Might is Right got me all fucking worked up about that.
We got 10 minutes left. We're not doing it.
Yeah, we're not even gonna go there tonight.
We'll wait for another. Maybe
TJ will probably appreciate it because I can really talk about the fucking Crown.
We can do that Saturday on the cartoon hour.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, that's right. Good thing.
Call it the Pleases the Crown episode because I'll tell you what, I got shit to say.
And Rob has stories and shit to say. You're only going to hear that if you're a Patreon. So there you go.
Yeah, you want to talk Might is Right, TJ, when in Pleasing the Crown. We'll fucking go there on Saturday, buddy. You'll appreciate it.
There you go.
I'm a Huckleberry.
I know you are. I know you are. That's what I mean. You'll appreciate it. It won't just be, oh, Rob's talking shit again. You won't just be rolling your eyes and nodding your head and smoking your pipe. You'll be waving your flag and picking up your rifle when I get done with you. Because we'll be pleasing the fucking Crown. I'll tell you what. Oh God. Have a good night, RR.
Catch you soon. Thank you as always for watching, hanging out with us, hanging out with the MG family.
That's right. Marty gets to hear it.
That's true. He does.
Yeah. Marty will get to hear me go off on the Crown.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
TJ will appreciate it and understand. I know how TJ rolls. So he'll actually be like, "Preach, brother Rob."
Oh, I want to get a T-shirt that has George Washington with a bandana around his mouth, and below it says, "Me and my homies would be stacking bodies by now."
No shit.
Yeah, seriously. No, it one of my favorite memes is one of them that just has Minutemen surrounded by dead redcoats, and it says the founding fathers would have been shooting by now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, those guys tried to take our guns, and they raised all sorts of ruckus.
Yeah,
and we
it's
shot
like,
them.
did they not? You look at what's going on in frickin' Virginia, and I'm thinking,
Yeah,
did you
pretty
guys
much,
not
Red.
learn the frickin' first time? You know?
Those are the memes I love, is the ones where they kind of end with, "Yeah, we shot them." Those are my favorites. Yeah, we
It's
shot
like
them.
Forrest Gump. The British had to take away our guns.
Yeah.
And then we shot them. Mhm.
Yeah. God.
Sometimes it
funny.
would rain, and the rain would come down, and the rain would go at an angle. Sometimes the rain was sideways, and every once in a while, the rain would even come back up at you. And
There
then
you
we
go.
shot them.
And give you another McGinnis photo.
Ooh,
A hottie with a Thompson gun.
there we go.
Woo! Send
Yeah.
that to my email.
I'll take a photo of it and send it over for you.
I'm your Huckleberry.
That's right. And
Keep
here's
the
the
prices. What are you talking about, Chess?
here's the model for it.
Oof.
I'm actually holding a
Let me
Tommy.
see. I gotta,
Is
what
he
I gotta
holding
show?
a Tommy gun? It doesn't look
You
like
know what
she
we'll
is
do
the
for
actual
the,
model.
You know what we'll do for the Saturday
No,
one?
no.
I
The
have that
the
pinup.
model is, and the model is just holding up like this.
So I have that that pinup
Which one?
book. It's from the Vargas guy. He did all those pinups during World War II.
Oh
And
yeah,
that
yeah,
book-
yeah.
So I have his book. I got it from the Imperial War Museum in London.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Hey, here's a question for Vince and TJ. Vince will be able to answer this easier. Going back to motorcycles. Vince, with your endorsement, since we're talking about pleasing the crown a little bit,
Mhm.
do you just have a standard M for motorcycle, or does it have different tiers?
Just standard M's. You don't have to do tiers for different weight classes and different styles. It's just
Okay.
M motorcycle. You're done.
Okay, what about you, TJ? Do you know if the People's Republic of Washington requires tiers, or is it either yay, you can ride whatever, or no, you can't?
I think it's you can ride whatever.
Okay. So
I know it's
Utah's gone a lot more communist that way then. Okay.
I know that this side of the state is much more. I mean, I know high school kids who've got their own motorcycles, so I think the culture here is just a lot different. It is truly like, guys, once you get over the mountains, it's a totally different culture. The stuff that people will say, the discourse, the frame of things is totally different. So, and the laws here, especially when you live in an unincorporated area of a county, you're just allowed to do stuff that you can't do in an urban area.
Okay, SAST. In the U.S., we don't have restrictions like that. If you're talking about tiers, you'd be incorrect, because in the state of Utah, there are now, when it comes to a motorcycle endorsement, and this is just a cash grab from the crown, there are weight, or it's actually CC, cubic centimeter endorsements. It used to be like when I got my endorsement, it was either you had an endorsement or you didn't. So you either had an M on your driver's license saying you could ride a bike, or you didn't have one. That's how it was. But you could ride any size, any class, whatever. They didn't give a fuck. But at about 2008, I think it was, somewhere around there, they changed it all up where there are now 3 tiers. There is below, I think it's 149cc and below is your first tier. Second tier is 150 to 649, I believe is what it is. And then the final tier is just your standard M, which is you can ride any size. It's a cash grab, but the state of Utah said, oh, well, we've got people testing and riding on, what are them little fucking things? Not mopeds, but the scooters that are like 50cc or 100cc. They got like a gallon of gas in them, and you can go like 400 fucking miles on them because the top speed's like 50. They weigh about like 5 pounds. They're ridiculous. But people were testing on shit like that and then going out and buying a 1900. They were buying an Indian.
Right.
Yeah, land of the free, Bull Rush. Yeah, what isn't taxed, what isn't licensed or have a permit or isn't illegal? Tell me what we can do, guys. Again, pleasing the crown. Tune in Saturday. Be a Patreon for that.
I just signed up for the motorcycle class in March.
Nice.
Excellent.
Good for you.
Cool.
Guys, when you decide you want to do something, do it. Don't talk about it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other thing is, you only got so many years in your life. Don't be waiting around saying, I'm going to get around to this someday. Just do it.
Exactly. And before we sign off, yourself, Atham, are you planning on getting a bike?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Apparently, if I pass the course, I don't have to do anything in a DMV. They give my endorsement automatically.
Oh, nice.
In Nevada.
That's the same here in New Jersey.
Yeah,
but in Nevada, you have to wear a helmet.
Same in New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's either Nevada or California. Pick your poison.
I ride around.
And the only reason, this is one of the things I never understood about Nevada, is with Nevada, you got gambling and you got whores. And both of them are legal in general. I mean, obviously, whores aren't legal in the big counties like where Las Vegas is, because we can't have people taking away the money from the whores or from the gambling to give it to the whores.
First, actually, prostitution is legal in every state. We just don't call it prostitution; we call it dating.
Well, there you go. But at least in Nevada, we call whoring. Okay, and unless you're in certain counties like Clark County, where the big casinos are, whoring is legal everywhere within the state of Nevada. Gambling is legal within the state of Nevada. Pretty much everything is legal in the state of Nevada, except you have to wear a fucking helmet if you ride a motorcycle, which I never understood it initially. I was like, what? But I realized it's because they are butt fucking with California, and they want to be able to get the reach around from California. And California, being the commie state they are, decided California has helmet laws too, and so Nevada decided, well, we'll give a reach around to California here. We'll require helmets in Nevada, and I know this because I've been in Nevada where I've had to pack a helmet on my bike. And when I hit the state line, stop the bike, put the fucking helmet on, right in Nevada. And otherwise, once I get back to the land of not wearing helmets in Utah, I have to wear a helmet in Nevada. But I couldn't understand it initially. Like, I can do pretty much anything in Nevada, just about. I can really do about anything in Nevada, which is why I like Nevada. Except I have to wear a helmet, you fuckers. Well, what's going on with that? Well, it's because they're sucking California's cock. That's what that is.
Well, keep in mind that a lot of Californians are moving to Nevada, so that also has something to do with it.
There you have it, right there. There you have it. But that's where I figured. I was like, go figure. Nevada's got cheap booze. They got whores. They've got fucking gambling. And pretty much anything else, they're pretty much like, whatever. Go ahead and do that. That's fine. But by God, you want to ride a motorcycle without a helmet? We will put you in fucking jail. It's like, really? Really? Are you fucking kidding me? But it's because they're sucking California's dick. On that one, at least. On that one. Are you trying to break my concentration?
That's right.
Stop it.
That's right. Nah, shut the fuck up.
So yeah, Atham understands. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I love Nevada. I love riding in Nevada. I enjoy going to Nevada, but I really don't like going on my bike because I have to stop and put a helmet on. Because otherwise, the Nevada Highway Patrol is looking for guys like me. They're like, oh, you're from Utah, aren't you? How could you tell? You're not wearing a helmet. Do I really need a fucking helmet? Yes, and here you do.
I'll ride around at night. I'll ride around at night sometimes without a helmet. Fucking. Okay.
You rebel, you going against the crown. God damn you.
Fuck them too.
I just gotta know where to go ride the motorcycle. Like if you go up into certain parts of the state, there's certain parts of Washington State where you can ride without a helmet, but by God, you better be carrying a gun because if you're not, you'll be arrested as a communist. You know,
For not carrying a gun?
Yeah, there's certain parts of the state where if you aren't seen open carrying, they're like, "What are you communists doing in our neck of the woods? Go back home." Right? It's illegal not. Oh, it's practically illegal not to have a gun in certain parts of Washington State. Like I said, once you get on the other side of the mountains, there's parts of the area where it's a totally different ball game. There's parts where things have not changed in 30 years. They really haven't. So, you know, if you got money and you work online, that's a great place to buy property because, you know, you're not going to get a lot of competition. The only thing you got to worry about is the meth heads, the druggies, and the you know, meth houses that they create. But you know, if you got enough money, you can just hire people out to take care of the problem.
Or you just carry guns.
You carry guns and you develop a reputation of like, you know, you're part of a gang and you don't want and nobody wants to bother you. No, you just go around and be like,
no,
yeah,
I believe you, TJ, but I'm just looking at you thinking, I can't imagine you in a gang. Not saying you ain't, but I just, you know, it's like, dude, you're way too clean cut, but maybe that's the point.
That is the point. It's
other people could see me in a gang. They're like, oh, you're one of those dirty fucking scumbag fucking biker guys. Because I've been a patch holder. I've been that guy. And it's like, yeah, I fit the mold. TJ, you don't. But that's even better. I like it.
Do-up gang.
West Side.
That's supposed to be a racial slur against Italians. Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Keep it cool, boy. Sorry.
See? Oh shit!
Did you ever watch that South Park episode where they're doing like the whole mock-up of musicals, and Stan's like walking the hallway? He's like, "I just don't understand this." And everybody around there is going, and he's turns around and goes, "No, guys, we're not doing that. Oh no, screw it, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that. Yeah, that's funny.
They're constantly,
Right.
Oh, it was when they were doing the High School Musical spoof.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Barbershop quartet. We all need fucking bow ties and shit. There you go. All right. So it's that time, everyone. I know it's not your favorite time, but all good things must come to an end. So thank you for joining us for another Masculine Geek Wednesday broadcast. It is now 11 o'clock, 11:01. So we're going to do a little housekeeping now. But before we do that, I want to say thank you again for joining us. Hit that fucking like button. I won't steal Rob's thunder. Rob, go ahead.
Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Share the motherfucker.
What he said. Yeah. So there you go. All right. Where, Rob, where can everyone find you?
robsays.net. And while you're at it, I put it in the chat a while ago, but I just had an interview with Doc Perodin on his channel, the Safety Doc podcast. You ought to go check it out because we talked about my legacy.
And
it's a good time.
And apparently, lemon, acerbophobia, something about lemon. So I'm going to listen.
You know what? I don't even know what the hell he's talking about. But it was a good interview. If you want to have some fun, go check it out.
All right, cool. It's only 8 p.m. where Athens at.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, that hell with you. That's awesome. All right, TJ.
Same here.
Shut up.
Yeah, we're at the same time, right?
Jesus. TJ, where can everyone find you?
You can all find me at tjmartinell.com.
There you go. And Atham, yourself?
Just go to my Instagram, Atham Aldequa. There it is.
Let me put it in the chat there. There you go. That's Atham's Instagram. So go check him out. Go follow him in his amazing caving adventures.
His caving and running from ice adventures.
Yes.
Oh,
and you know, all the what was the other thing that you were apparently doing? Something to do with food.
Eating dinner.
No, you were eating dinner, but there's a certain dinner you were apparently eating. Not tacos. What was the other thing?
Tamales.
Tamales. Yes.
Yeah, since he's wearing the vest and the shirt, it's tamale night.
And he's gonna go park some cars. So there you go.
You can find him cave diving and as a valet.
Parking car.
There you go. All right. And then Marty, you can find Marty in the chat. You can find everyone in the chat. So, all right.
If you want.
This Saturday, there will be the Saturday morning cartoon hour, and TJ and I will be doing the second episode of our new project, which is Religion, Spirituality, and the Masculine Geek. So you want to go check that out, sign up for the Patreon. There you go. And that's at the $10 level. All right, everyone. Enjoy your evenings. Keep the fires burning. Keep moving forward. And until next time, take it easy.
Toodles.
Word.